Hey everyone, I'm Larry Walsh, and this is Channelnomics and the Margins, and I'm coming to you from Islamorada in the Florida Keys. In fact, Cuba is about 90 miles that way over the horizon. But I'm not here to talk with you about Cuba or geopolitics. I'm here to talk to you about one of the most unappreciated and least talked about topics in the channel, and that's quoting. Now, I'm not going to say that we're unaware or oblivious to it. I mean, vendors have acknowledged for a long time their frustrations with quoting processes and the bottlenecks that they face. Partners talk about it frequently in terms of the issues that they face in trying to get deals done with their vendors. What I mean about the underappreciated nature of it is that while we acknowledge the problems that come with quoting, we acknowledge the challenges, we don't really recognize or fully appreciate the consequences of poor quoting systems. Now, Channelnomics has released a new report inside quoting in the channel, and it really dives into the details of what happens as a result of poor quoting practices or poor quoting systems. Imagine this, that you're a partner, a reseller, an integrator, someone who's an intermediary between you and your end customer, and you've been working an account for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. You've gotten the buyers to the point through the presentations, through the sharing of materials, through the demonstrations, to get to the point where they say, yes, please, we'd like to see a proposal. We want to see a quote. And so you then go back to your vendors and say, I need a quote for this product in this configuration. And then what happens? For a third of the partners, according to our research, a third of the partners tell us that it can take as much as 3 weeks to get a quote back from the vendor. And it doesn't stop there. Again, another third or so will tell us that it often goes to numerous revisions, as many as 5 and sometimes as many as 12 revisions before the quote is ready to be presented to the end customer. And in that time, there's a lot of risk that's introduced. The number of partners that we found that are losing deals because they can't get a quote out fast enough is astonishing. 39% of partners say that they lose 10% of their opportunities because of poor quoting practices. Now, the partners are pretty clear on what they like to see from their vendors. They want to see changes. They want to have more efficiency baked into the system, because if they do that, then they are going to be able to move faster and capture more deals. The longer the quoting process takes, the longer the presentations go on for, the more likely the customer is to go shopping for another supplier. That's the risk that's being introduced in this entire process. So in this report, the Inside the Quoting in the Channel report that we've just released at Channelnomics, you will find all the details, not only about what the consequences of poor quoting practices are, but also the remedies that could help make it better for everyone in the go-to-market chain. Well, look, that's about all the time I have for this edition of In the Margins. Please hit like, hit subscribe, tell your friends. Check out our other podcasts, Changing Channels and The Network Effect, and also check out all the great research, best practices, and insights and services we have to offer at Channelnomics. Until next time, I'm Larry Walsh.